Yes, one thing with me is that when I really want to do something, I will make sure that it happens. And for the past few weeks, I have been really obsessed with Madeline RG's podcast, and I just don't understand why. Is that I feel like I have the strongest urge or the strongest desire to like copy her setup, which I feel like it's a double-edged sword because one, I get to do this podcast. What? This is not a podcast. Um, One, I get to shoot this video. Two, I get a cooler setup because now I have a better mic and I have a better backdrop. I think so. There's just something beautiful about taking inspiration and making it your own. You know what I mean? A lot of people have been watching my YouTube video, and I know it's not a lot of people, but to me it is. I say that every time I talk about the people who watches my videos, but I think I've come to understand that I guess a lot of people just really like to hear me talk because I used to have this like fear that people don't like hearing me talk, so for the longest time I've always been into writing instead. Yeah, so I haven't posted a video for 2 weeks, and that's because I had a very, very fucked up week. Did I? I don't know. I just don't remember what happened for the past 2 weeks. But that is also because I have a full-time job. I hope my boss is not seeing this because it would be terrible. And I do still want to somehow keep my job. But yes, I have a full-time job. I work at a startup. Yes, and I feel like working full-time and doing content is just impossible, right? I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's really pretty fucking hard, guys. And I did not think that this was a hard thing until I started doing it myself because you see all these influencers, all these YouTubers, they have full-time content creation as their career. And I'm just like, why would you want to do that, right? Why would you want to like drop your stable job in order to like pursue something so unstable? And then I started doing content creation and I started doing YouTube videos, and I'm like, I get it. Sometimes it's really that tempting to quit your stable job to pursue something that you know it's gonna pay off in the long term. I have been thinking about that, but I don't think I'm that at that point yet. So right now, like the thing that I need to focus the most is actually consistency, and it's really, really hard to stay consistent because you're not doing it for the money, right? Because obviously you're like only talking to like 300 people, and 300 people is not gonna pay the bills. So it's like the incentive is more intrinsic, right? Knowing that people are commenting on your videos, knowing that people are actually watching your videos. There's like a lot of things that you need to invest time in, and also a little bit of money like this. But this costed me like 175. I bought it yesterday at Wang Semaju. Like I went all over the place to find a good mic, a good but cheap mic, because I didn't want to like splurge on a mic before like I actually, shoot a video with it. Obviously, but what I meant is that I just don't want to be spending so much money on something that I'm just starting out in. You know what I mean? I made that mistake a long time ago, which is like I used to buy something and then like I would splurge everything onto that hobby, and then I end up not pursuing that hobby, and it's just a waste of time and a fucking waste of money. So I was like, okay, let's go find a mic that's cheap, that is good, because in the past videos, I used a mic, but it's a wireless mic, so it's not that good. It's like it compresses my voice a little bit, and I kind of really hate it. Like I would really prefer like something that's more clear, more crisp. And it was really hard to find a budget mic because physically you can buy it online, obviously, but I think I had that like epiphany where I'm like, okay, I need to buy a mic today, shoot a video tomorrow, so whatever it is, I need to get a mic today. And there's not a lot of stores that physically carry cheap USB mics. It takes time. It invests the time. Okay, it's on my weekend. And actually I took a week off from work because YOLO, whatever, I don't really give a fuck. And also shooting the video and then editing the video, posting the video. It takes up your whole day, you know? And I know a whole day is not a lot to some people, but a whole day is a lot to somebody who works a 9 to 5 because weekends are all I have. So, like, say if Saturdays are the days that I do my chores, Sunday would be the day that I shoot a YouTube video and film it and post it. So, it's like the next day is already Monday, which is fucking crazy because wait, today's not Sunday, today's Monday because today is public holiday. What I'm saying is that tomorrow's Tuesday. If I don't have an off day the whole week, that means I'm gonna get to work tomorrow, which is not gonna happen because I'm off. So there are a lot of things that have been occupying my mind for the past few weeks. One is obviously because of this work, this job. I'm really trying to get a new job. I don't know if that's safe to say, but I really do not give a fuck anymore. Um, I guess like I'm just over this like staying comfortable routine, you know? I'm okay. Also, not just about that, it's also about like for the past 2 years, 2+ years, I've been hustling and grinding my ass off, right? And it's like I feel like the capitalism part has gotten to me, right? Like I'm like always chasing for the bread, chasing for the career ladder, chasing for like what's beyond it. There is nothing beyond it. It's just that. It's just more money, more work, more hours, more. It just takes and takes and takes, and they don't give you anything back in return. At least nothing valuable, nothing meaningful. I really realized this really late into my career, and I wished. Why am I saying as if I've been working a lot of years? I've been working 2 years, and it felt like so long. And I really wished that I wish I had started my job searching way earlier. You know, when people say that job hop is the key to like a good career, please believe that. Please believe that because you might not believe it when you're happy in your job, when you're content with where you are. The second and the moment that you feel like you want to quit that job or you want to move on or you just like want to break, that's when you really need to fucking find that job, and it's really fucking hard to find a job in this market right now. So, a girl is struggling, right? A girl is struggling. And I think I'll get into why I am struggling because I am the type of person who is a generalist. If you don't know what a generalist is, it's like I can do a lot of different things. I can do a little bit of social media. I can do a little bit of product managing. I can do a little bit of project managing. I can do a little bit of data. I can do writing. Like I'm just really good at a lot of things, like little things, but I'm not a specialist, right? So when it comes to job searching, I am open to every role possible. You know, I've been applying to product management roles, business analyst roles, what are roles? Strategic roles. And then I haven't gotten a callback, I think, because I haven't gotten an interview because I think maybe my resume is too broad, and I have been like A/B testing my resumes, and I have been improving my resume every time I send out applications. But what I'm saying is that it's just hard because like also the field that I'm in, people who are generalists, is very very saturated. I mean, like there's a lot of other people who are more experienced applying for those jobs, and I'm only 2 years in. So that was a bit of a bummer because I wish that if I'd known this last year, I would have like taken up some courses to like make sure that I'm more niche or specialized. So like for example, like if I had certifications on Python or certifications on SQLs, right? I think I will be more valuable and I will at least like compete with those people who are more experienced. But right now I don't have anything and I'm only starting now. Oh, I'm regretting it so badly. Like I wish if you are here right now starting early in your career, please start thinking about your career, what it's gonna look like in the next few years, even though you're happy with where you're at. because I was happy with where I'm at until I'm not. So now I'm fucked, right? So I recently stumbled upon this job role, which is called consultant at a BCG firm. Mind you, I have no idea what MBB firms are. So MBB firms are McKinsey, BCG, and Bain. So MBB firms are like, I would say like top tier consulting firms. They're like a tier higher than Big Four, which is KPMG, EY, PwC, and Deloitte, right? When I first saw that, I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. What do consultants do? So apparently, consultants are people who come up with strategies. Okay, I don't really know to what extent this is true, but I've only heard it from like Reddits and YouTubers, that consulting just basically is like they take up clients and they just basically have to solve problems for the clients. So let's say if the clients want to increase like profit for the next 5 years, then consultants would like come up with a strategy. They would build decks, researching, analyzing, and then they just present those findings to the clients. A lot of people kind of like macam, a lot of people look down upon this kind of work because it's like, oh, ChatGPT can do it, right? But I was very intrigued with it because I've always liked solving problems. I feel like the majority of my time in the workplace that I'm in, I'm always solving problems, right? But like in this setting, I'm solving more like high scale problems, and also I'm not just solving the problem of one company, I'm solving the problems of many companies, and that kind of like intrigued me. And I'm a very curious person. I really like to solve problems, so I applied for it. I applied for 2 roles. I think I applied for the mid role, and then I applied for the entry level role. And then I just moved on. I didn't think much about it. Like, obviously, I really wanted the role, right? But yeah, like I said, I'm not very attached when I apply job applications. I'm the sort of person which is like, I apply and I move on. And then a week later, I get a invitation to an online assessment by BCG. And I think that was me succumbing to capitalism. Why I say this? Because I almost got lost in the sauce. Because I found out that when I got the online case assessment, I started to think about the possibilities of me actually working there. I was like, wait, what? Imagine if I started working there and I started searching up salaries of like what a consultant gets paid in Malaysia, and it can go up to 100k per year, guys. So that's like minimum 8,000 per month. And I was really like, like Gollum from the Lord of the Rings, when he got the ring. That was me. I'm sick to my stomach knowing that was me. Because right, sorry, if you guys don't know what online case assessments are, is that because these firms, these MBB firms are so prestigious and so high level, is that obviously they get a lot of job applications coming in. So in order for them to like filter out the people who are like irrelevant, or to make sure that their time in interviewing during in-person is productive, they get the applicants to go through this recruiting process where they like have to take certain assessments, online assessments, before they can like proceed to the in-person interview. So this is one of it lah. Online case assessments are basically a type of assessment where you get to chat with a chatbot. You can like simulate a case study with the chatbot. So let's say like they give you an example of a business struggling, and you just kind of have to like simulate like how would you increase the profits, what are the ways, and they get you to do math questions, so on and so forth. So it's a very comprehensive interview process, right? And mind you, this is something that is shared universally, meaning like somebody from Malaysia can also experience the same thing as somebody who's applying in the United States, for example. So they have like a Reddit of everybody trying to apply to MBB firms. That's how prestigious they are. So I went to Reddit. I like basically doom scrolled the whole entire fucking subreddit on like how to get in the firm and like how to ace the online case assessment, right? Something you guys need to know about me is that I'm really bad at maths. And I'll get more to this later, but this is something that I always internalize myself. Like every time somebody says like, "Oh my god, you don't know what 15 times plus 7 is," and I have to do it in my head, and it takes me quite a long time, right? And whenever people say that to me, like, "Oh my god, you don't know how to do that," like immediately, I'm just like, "Oh fuck, I'm really bad at math." So it's like something I'm internalizing always for the longest time ever. So knowing that the online case assessment has like it has a lot of maths, and it's not just maths that you like, oh, what's 16 times 12? No, this is like probability, calculating the annual growth rate, shit like that, whatever. It got me really anxious. I'm like, oh shit. It's kind of like if capitalism is the tower. Wait, no. If capitalism is the ring that Gollum wants, then like math is basically like the hobbits trying to come after me. So I really studied hard. I basically went back to my school days again and downloaded Anki, which is an active recalling app. Like it's a flashcards app basically, and I wrote so many stuff on it. Business terms, what profit growth means, how to multiply fractions, like everything I was not confident with, I used Anki. And I did that for a whole week. Mind you, I still had work. I think the day when I was supposed to take the assessment, I wrote an entry. I think I wrote a journal entry which said something like, if it's meant for me, it's meant for me, but if it's not, it's not. But obviously I cannot fight the feeling that I really wanted it, right? I've already built this thing inside my head where I'm like, oh, I'm already working there. I'm earning that amount of money. I'm moving out to a better, nicer place. I'm gonna buy a car, that kind of shit. Oh my god, I was so fucking... It's like everything here is cloudy and I'm all just like money, money, money all around, First, let's get to the experience of actually doing the online case assessment. When I was doing the online case assessment, there were like a lot of maths going on, right? Whatever, we know. I know that I wasn't going to be able to do it confidently. But what I didn't expect is that because the assessment is also timed, so I was really anxious and nervous because not only am I really bad at maths, but it's also, there's a time counter that it's going down. It's not going up, it's going down, right? I'm bad at maths. I'm running out of time. I'm not getting this interview. I'm not getting this job. So all these three things is just like ruminating inside my head, and I'm just like, oh my god. And obviously I was really, really under pressure. And I think the whole idea of this online case assessment is that it's trying to test you. So yeah, fuck my life. My mic decided to stop working because my camera was out of battery. So basically I had this like 20-minute footage recorded, and the mic wasn't attached to it, so then I have no audio at all, so I have to re-record the entire thing. Well, not necessarily the entire thing, but the last 20 minutes of it. Let me finish the story. I did the online case assessment and I was under pressure because of the maths portion. On top of that, I had to film a 1-minute video recommendation. So what that meant was that I needed to basically kind of like summarize all the findings and making sure that I deliver it in a concise manner. I think because I was so nervous and my body is just like, I don't know, tensed up immediately, like I had the desire to just let it all out. So right after I finished that 1-minute recommendation video, I paused the recording, I ended the recording, and I said out loud, "This is so fucking crazy." I think just to like get the adrenaline rush out. And I forgot that the browser was screen recording my whole entire laptop, my face, and my mic. So I was like, okay, I'm not getting this job, of course. Why did I do that? Anyways, that was really stupid. So I got the rejection email the next day. But I guess like what I wanted to say is that it's crazy how you really want something. Um, like I spent the whole entire week trying to study for this case assessment, and the minute that I did the test, the feeling of wanting the job immediately disappeared, gone, out of the window. I do not want that job anymore. I think partly the reason why is because like I know maybe like in a way God was saving my ass, because it's like, okay, you can't even do a simple case assessment. Simple or subjective to them. And you have the audacity to want to work in a company where these case studies are actually real. No, girl, you're not ready for that. So one, that's why I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just really not ready for it, right? Because maybe whatever that I could be dealing with during the job might be like 10 times harder. So okay, accept that. Two is probably because like finally, maybe because like I've been praying for the past few weeks, like my prayers have been answered, because I said to God, like, okay, if this is for me, it's for me. If it's not, it's not. So it's not for me, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with things that are not for me. It's just crazy how like when I was really trying to study for this thing, I really thought that I wanted it. Clearly enough, after I did the whole interview, I was humbled. I sat down and I humbled myself and was like, girl, this is not what you want. And also it's God's way of saying like, girl, you do not want to be getting yourself into that. And yeah, so I guess like in a way I'm kind of glad that I spent that whole week. Would I say I wasted my time? Maybe, but I learned a lot of lessons because of it. I learned that I should first count my blessings, because not a lot of people have a job like me. Because imagine if I was actually trying to apply to become a consultant and I don't have a job. That would suck really, really bad. But I still have a job to fall back on, so I'm really grateful for that. Um, and obviously, like, I think that there's a lot of things that I can be optimistic about, because like for the longest time I've told myself that I'm bad at math. It's something that I've been internalizing for the longest time. And partly it's because I feel like I do have problems with understanding numbers. I have this thing called dyscalculia. I think it's like the opposite of dyslexia. Sorry, not the opposite. It's just like another form of dyslexia, where like dyslexia is like the difficulty of understanding letters, but dyscalculia is the difficulty of understanding numbers. So it's a bit jumbled up with me. Yes, but yes, I've been internalizing for the longest time. Whenever like anybody asks me like, hey, what's 10 plus 9 plus 10? I'm like, oh, 19. Okay, wait, that's easy. What's 8 plus 15? And it would take me quite long to actually register that number in my head, right? And I would do it in my hands. And then they're like, oh my god, you don't know how to do that in your head? And I am embarrassed, right? So I think it's just way easier to say like, oh yeah, I'm bad at math. It's way easier to say that rather than like admit that, oh wait, I am bad at math. It's an ego thing as well. I think it's like, it's embarrassing to say that you don't know how to do certain things at an age where you're like mid-20s, right? So I think like for the longest time I've been internalizing it in my head that I'm bad at math, and in a way like it kind of like projects it whenever I actually try to do math problems. And it's a shame. It's really a shame, because why haven't I thought about what is it about math that I'm actually bad at? Is it about the calculations? Am I bad at counting? Am I bad at understanding problems? And it took me that case assessment to really understand like what is it that I'm bad at. And I think what I'm really bad at is foundations. I'm really bad at the foundation of math. Like, how people say that you can't build a house without a strong foundation? Yeah, I was really trying to build a house without even having any kind of foundation, right? And I think it's because like, okay, I don't know if you guys know this, but I was actually homeschooled. So after I finished my UPSR, I was homeschooled for a few years. So throughout the end of like when I was 15, 16, 17, I was just purely studying for IGCSEs, which is O levels. And then yeah, I think just like for the longest time I was just basically just grinding the syllabus to make sure that I pass my tests. And it's not like I'm like a regular student, whenever like you start in Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, the math get progressively harder and harder and harder. I just didn't have that. So I think it was hard for me to build a foundation because I really never had one to begin with. And it's a crazy thing to think about because I'm already in my mid-20s and I'm thinking about what the fuck was I doing in high school, So it was crazy. Yes, it took me that to sit myself down and say to myself, like, you're bad at math not because you're bad at math. You're bad at math because you didn't have the foundations when you were younger. And I think knowing, if I knew that a year ago, I would have done something about it, and something would have really changed for the better. So please, if you notice certain things about yourself that you've been saying to yourself for the longest time, think about whether it's true or whether you're projecting or whether it's internalization or some sorts, because it's definitely internalization of some sorts for me. When you say that you're bad at math, are you though, really? Or are you just saying that to get yourself out of certain situations because you're embarrassed or you have too high of an ego to admit that? Oof. I've been taking up actually I've been binging really like a lot of lessons from Khan Academy. Shout out to Sal Khan, by the way. You are the reason why a lot of people like me we have access to good math lessons. Free ones as well, right? It's crazy how it's free, right? It's really good. Why I say that it's good, why Khan Academy is good is because first it's suitable for any type of ages, right? If you're young, you're old, whatever. The basic thing that it does is that it doesn't assume that you already know what he's talking about, which I love. Because the thing with me is that whenever people talk to me about math, they always assume that I know something. Which, okay, at my age, people need to assume certain things, right? But that I know addition and subtraction, whatever. But with Sal Khan, he really assumes that you don't know all that, right? So he really spells it out for you, and he's like, okay, the reason why 2 plus 2 is because 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus, you get what I mean? I'm like, whoa, I get it now. He's just really good at explaining concepts, and it's really all about understanding concepts before you really get to the numbers. Hey, I've learned something really valuable there, because it's true. The whole entire time I was looking at the lessons that Sal was teaching, he was just basically emphasizing concepts. The concepts of multiplying expressions. What happens really when when you multiply fractions. What really happens when you multiply expressions, solving unknown numbers, right? So it's like, as long as you understand the concept, the numbers really don't matter. Like, if it's a small number, big number, the concepts still apply. See, I'm so sorry if this is basic to you, but this is not basic to me. So I am so sorry if I seem so stupid and bimbo right now. When it comes to math, I admit I am a little bit bad at it. So whenever I understand these kind of concepts, and whenever I do find like a finding about like a mindset about math, it's really groundbreaking to me. It's something that I never had to learn until now. Like I said, when I was homeschooling, I was basically just grinding those math problems and making sure I passed the math test. It was not something that I've learned progressively over the years, and it's a blessing and a privilege, guys. So knowing these type of things at this age is groundbreaking. It's crazy, and I needed to share it to you guys. It doesn't matter how stupid I sound, right? Knowing the foundations is very important. So if you know that you're bad at something, stop that. Think to yourself, are you really bad at it, or are you just bad at the foundations? Right? Because if you're bad at the foundation, all you have to do is just get your foundation right. The rest will come easy, smoothly. And I think this goes back to every single kind of, it's not just math. You can say the same about fashion. You can say the same about makeup. You can say the same about drawing, right? So yeah. Also, other than that, I've also been taking upskilling courses as well. I think I took it. I'm taking a data analytics course on Google. Um, it's a Google certificate, but I'm taking it on Coursera. So yeah, about upskilling is that do not think that just because you're comfortable at a job, just because you're making good money, just because like everybody tells you that you're good at your job, do not think that that's the end of it. Do not think that that's like, oh, you're set for life. Trust me, you're not. Because yeah, I think for the longest time I thought that, oh, I love this job. This is the reason why I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing for the next 5 years. Yeah, everybody tells me I'm good at my job, so there's nothing. Okay, just keep doing whatever I'm doing. Wrong, 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 wrong. Oh my god, how naive, how stupid. I am literally nobody. I do not know a lot of things in this world, and I think when people tell you that you're good at your job, you need to really just take that with a grain of salt, because um what you know versus what the world can offer is two different things, right? So I think that's my biggest mistake, is that during my early career, people say that I'm really good at what I do, but I never really like assessed what is it about my career that I'm good at. The fact is I'm good at different things. I'm just not good at one specific thing. And I think specialization is very important, because people want to know what sets you apart from other people, from other competitors, obviously. Like I said, like I'm competing with other people with more experience. So if I don't have experience, what is it that attracts me from other people, right? So yeah, like right now I'm leaning more towards data analytics, because I really, first of all, I think that there's a lot of potential in the data industry. Like a lot of people just seem to want to analyze data, but they don't know how. They just don't have the capacity for it. And I know ChatGPT can do it, but I think you need that human touch to be making nuance analysis. And I feel like, yeah, I guess I have the flair and I do have the passion for data. It's just that I don't have like a formal education for it. That's why I'm taking up certifications. But if I had done that course like a year ago, I would have done something really good about it now. And then like I would have, had to not have to prove my worth, and, just tell people like, hey, I'm a generalist, but also, hey, I'm really good at this. I'm really good at that. I'm really fucking good at this. So yeah, I really regret having to do all this right now, because frick, I really need that new job. But yeah, I'm only starting to realize all of this now. So it's really like such a humbling experience for me. It's like, whoa, it's really not that easy out here. And also again, another thing why it's not easy is because I'm not an entry level. I graduated 2-3 years ago. So like I'm not new to this, right? So it's like, having to like transition in your mid career, it's really difficult, because you really start to understand things, like understanding the job market, understanding yourself, and you're like, wish that you've done this. It's like could have, should have, would have. So yeah, if you're in your early career, please take my advice. Whatever that I'm saying right now, take notes, because I really wish that my younger self have done me something good, but so far I think the only thing that my younger self have done me is just give me more work, which is again, fuck capitalism. Because I think for the longest time I've been succumbed to capitalism, because like I think because I've only known nothing but going up, like career ladder, go up, 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 up. Like there's only more that the world can offer me. If I want a better job, I need to be good at what I do, and then I get promoted and I get more money. More money means more opportunities. Like, okay, to a certain extent it's true, but I feel like going towards that kind of mindset is really difficult and really painful, because it's not a reciprocal relationship, because it's the kind of relationship that takes, but they don't give they don't give you anything. They just give you more money but more work, and you end up being more miserable, and you have no time for anything else. We've seen this again and again, right? With our parents, with like our families, right? Like, yeah, it's more money, but at what cost, right? And for me, the cost is really high. It's a lot of things to sacrifice. I have to sacrifice my hobbies, I have to sacrifice reading. I have to sacrifice making content. I have to sacrifice time with my loved ones, right? So I think this is also this part of my life where I kind of like stop myself and think like, do I really want to do challenging roles? Do I really have to be passionate in my work? Do I really have to think about what I really want to do for the next 5 years? Maybe should I just do something that can pay the bills? You get what I mean? Because I've noticed that what I really want to do is just make content, to be honest. Like for the past 2 weeks, like other than just applying for jobs and doing this whole interview with BCG, is that at the end of the day, like I felt guilty for not posting a video for 2 weeks because I promised myself that I was going to be consistent, but I wasn't. So that was really heartbreaking because I'm like, at what cost, right? I had nothing to post on TikTok as well because I wasn't dressing up, I wasn't going to fun places, I didn't feel good about myself. And how long am I going to feel like that? You get what I mean? So, yeah, it was really, I felt kind of lost in the moment and I didn't know what kind of emotion it is, but truly it's because I'm conflicted, right? One point I'm telling myself I need to be consistent at posting content, but also another side of me is telling myself that, oh, I need to find a job that I want to be fulfilled in, that I want to have meaning in, and I want to be passionate in. It's just like those two things cannot correlate with one another. If you want to be really good at your job, your full-time 9 to 5 job, and be fulfilled in it, you just have to put your 100% in it. You cannot do two things at once. At least like two things. You cannot put 100% in two things at once, right? Because for me, I think like the goal here, because I had a dinner with a friend recently and she told me like she wanted to start a YouTube channel, and I was like, yeah, go for it. YouTube channel is like the best way to kind of like self-express yourself, and it's long form content, so it's always good to post long form content because people really it's really hard to get it's really hard to get people to listen to you for like 20-30 minutes straight. So if you really get people to do that, it's freaking amazing, right? Because everybody can post TikTok nowadays, not everybody can do long form content. So yeah, like she said that she has seen people who like regularly post videos when they were like 2-3 years back, and now she checked their YouTube subscribers is like up to 100k subscribers. Imagine just posting one video every week for a year, and you post like what, 200 videos already, 200 plus videos. It's crazy because like one video really goes a long way. You just have to start now, and if you don't start, you'll never get to where you are. So I think like consistency plays a very big role here, and being consistent is really not that easy, especially when you have a 9 to 5 job. If I really do want to pursue this full time, I need to have a job that doesn't require so much of me. Like just a simple funny little job that pays the bills, but when I get back home I still have the time and the energy to to read. I haven't been reading at all these days, and to make content, to share my thoughts, and I think that is the dream. And as long as I can do that, and then like until I can really 100% support my life with content creation, like that is the life. That is, and it's okay, it's okay because like I guess like for people my age at least, like we kind of like tell ourselves that we need to grind and hustle. No. We don't. I feel like if you want to reach a certain outcome of like, I don't know, become a CEO below when you're like what, 35, okay, then maybe it's true. But for me, I believe in like making the most out of my life, pursuing as many hobbies that I want, because mind you, after I like, let's say, retire, there's no more jobs. I only have me, myself, and my hobbies. So, what else is there to do if I don't know what my hobbies are, right? So I feel like your early career, your early 20s should be about putting yourself into things that are not outside of your work, like hobbies. friends, family, you know? Because capitalism really has taken its toll out of me. Like, I am so tired of working and working and working, and I get nothing in return other than sometimes you don't even get the money, guys. Sometimes you just do it because you think you might get the money, but you don't. So, it's a really deceitful, very manipulative kind of mindset to think that working hard equals better life. I'm saying this because I used to believe that. And then I went through that and it did not pay off for me, and I think there's just something else that's more beautiful than work. And it really is something that I had to learn the very difficult way, and I had to go through like twists and turns to like come to terms with like how my career should be. And I feel like if I get a job that's more chill, more calm, that doesn't provide me any career growth, as long as it pays my bills, I'm okay with that, you know? I need to be able to be fulfilled doing something else, you know, like making YouTube. So, yes. I'm sorry if that turned into a little bit of a tech talk right there. You know, I'm really good at giving advice actually. So, I don't know, Madeline RG does this thing on her podcast where she kind of like gives advice to her viewers, and I thought that was so interesting because I'm the eldest sister with one younger brother. So, I've heard a lot from other people that I have a very old soul. Like, I seem older than I'm supposed to be. So, yeah. Sometimes when I look at my friends who are older than me, I'm like, I cannot believe you're older than me. So I'm like, I think I can confidently say that I'm quite good at giving out advices. Maybe also because I've gone through a lot of things when I was younger. So like I had to kind of like be street smart at a very young age. So I think when I'm older now, I get less impressed at things and I'm more calmer because I've been through the situations when I was younger. So I don't know. Really love to kind of like listen to other people's problems and give advice. I don't know if people want advices from me, but I've never had a bigger sister or bigger brother, older brother. So I've always had to figure things out by myself. So if you guys want some advice from me, let me know, because then I can set up this whole thing where like you guys send me emails and then like I read the email and then like I read it out and give advice. That would be so cool because I'm always up in other people's business. That is one true thing about me. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Another thing I want to point out is that my last YouTube video got 1,000 views, which is insane because I don't know, having to see like my YouTube career so far, I've been only posting for like what 2-3 months, but like you can see my first video has like 300, 400, 500, 600, and then the last video got 1,000. It just shows like the views are like progressively increasing, and I'm just so happy to see that. And yeah, I'm like really excited with like whatever that's about to come. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys like the new setup. I hope the camera's more clear with like the backdrop thing going on, and then with the mic being clear and crisp. Let me know about the advice thingy. And yeah, have a good week, guys. Bye.